Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Priyanka and I make content about Germany, study in Germany, work in Germany, literally everything. So make sure to subscribe to my channel. The topic for today's video is culture shocks in Germany. And I'm going to talk about everything that can be related with someone from India or Asia. Even if you're not from these countries, if it relates to you, do let me know in comments and also let me know how you like this video. The first thing that you notice when you come to Germany is that it is so quiet. Right now I'm standing in my garden and it is so quiet. You will just hear birds all the time and there is absolutely very low or absolutely no sound of neighbors or anybody around. Even in the house it is so quiet, my own voice is echoing here. Like, it's very quiet in German houses generally. Also during night, that was the biggest problem, that when I came here it was so silent that I had difficulty in sleeping because it is extremely silent. Like in India, at least there is sound of horns maybe from outside or the sound of ceiling fans, and all these things are not here, so it's extremely quiet. It takes time to adjust to the silence of Germany. That brings me to second point, is that there are no ceiling fans in Germany. It was a big cultural shock for me before, because how do you sleep without a fan? In India it was difficult for me, but here there are no fans. If you need a fan, especially in summers, because it gets very hot and dry hot here, so you need some kind of tower fan or a table fan kind of to cool down. There is no AC system here, so you just have to rely on these kind of fans. One thing that you'll find is heaters. To heat the houses, you generally have heaters. This is a very old one, that's why it is like this. It gets very cold in Germany in winters, minus temperatures, so this kind of heaters are used to heat. And this was a predominantly cold country. Now it's getting much hotter or much normal, but that's why there are no ACs or fans here. There are just heaters everywhere, even in buses, in buildings that you go, offices, everywhere you'll find heaters and rarely find ACs or ceiling fans or even normal fans. If you need something in your office, you have to take your own. Next point is very high taxes. If you want to come to Germany, if you plan to come to Germany, make sure that you know this, that the taxes here are very high. So I just made a video 2 weeks back about this tax system or the tax slab. I'm adding it once again here for you to review. So generally people from India, they are into professions like IT engineers or automotive engineers, developers, testing, or into finance or into doctors, also medical professions, and the salaries in this profession tend to be very high. 60 is actually the range where it starts for a good experience of 3 to 5 years. So in this case, for Indians, the salary is very high, and that's why the tax tends to be starting from 42%. That's a very high tax where almost half of your salary is gone. So you see the salary in your contract, which looks like so big, but in hand it's very less, like half of it is gone almost. And you have to manage everything in that, your rent, your grocery. But one good thing of this high taxes is that the health insurance, that is free, so you can go to doctor free of cost. The only time I pay is if the doctor writes some medicine to me. So the general medicine doctor gives is ibuprofen or paracetamol, and that I already have from India, so my costs there are saved. And otherwise, like in very serious cases, doctor will give some different medicine, but otherwise doctors here don't generally prescribe anything. So if you have fever, cold, headache, they'll say just drink tea, have soups, take steam, and you should be well. They don't prescribe medicine very fast, and that's good because it allows your own body to develop mechanism against the disease, fight the disease, and have the antibodies for that specific disease. One more thing that's included in high taxes is the education. So education of your kids is included. They can go free of cost to public schools, they can study free of cost in public universities, and the education quality is top notch. Like, it's like super high quality education. Kids are very happy. Like, I speak to so many kids here from my friends right now, and the kids are very happy because they get to learn many things, not just studies, but they also learn about different sports. They do swimming, football, they learn painting, they learn different things, and all this is included free of cost in your studies. So that's one advantage of these high taxes. One more thing here that you should know is if you are the sole earner, then and you have your wife and your kid, so you don't have to buy extra insurance for them when you are in public health insurance. Their insurance is considered in yours. They can go to doctor, they will get health insurance based on what you are paying, and they don't have to pay anything extra. So that's one really good thing about the health insurance, about the high tax here. So for someone who's a sole earner, private insurance is not a good idea, and you should really stay in your public health insurance because it insures for your family with very less cost. Also, one thing shocking for me was that you can drink water directly from tap. So it is perfectly safe to do that. There is some kind of calcium carbonate which causes white spots on the taps, but otherwise it's very safe to drink. This was a big culture shock because in India we had RO water purifier, and without that I never drank water directly from the tap. One more cultural shock is that it is very, very clean in Germany. The weather and environment is so pleasant or so nice because there's less pollution here. Not just less, but there is no pollution at all. When I was in India, I had to wear sun coat, jacket to protect from pollution or the strong sun, and also scarf around the head to protect from the pollution or dust which is there. But here you don't see any dust. People here also have lots of dogs and pets, but it's never dirty outside. Like, it's so clean here that if the dog does their business on the road, the owner of the dog has to pick up that shit and throw it in the dustbin. Also, there are different booths or small bins on the way where you can pick up the biodegradable bags to pick up such kind of waste and throw in the dustbin. That's how it's so clean. People here cycle a lot. Like you just saw, he's so old. Like people 60, 70, 80 years. Even our neighbor is 80 years, but he still goes to shopping or outside on cycle all the time. Like people cycle a lot and are super, super active. Traffic rules here are very, very strict. You see the cars standing in lines. They also have to make such lines when there is ambulance or emergency vehicle going, so that it doesn't cause chaos on the road. So you'll see people really following traffic rules, even if it is 2 in the night or 3 or any time in the day. Even if the signal is not working, like they have to wait, check, and then go. You cannot really do rash driving in Germany. Also, the charges to make a driving license is so expensive here. I got, I think, 3 to 4,000 euros of cost to make my driving license, and I didn't have one in India, so it took even more cost to make one. Also, there are rules for cyclists and people who walk. So there are 2 lanes, one for cyclist and one for person walking. So you have to walk on the walking path, and the cyclist have this path here. One more thing about traffic rules is that if you happen to break some rule or speed limit, you can get lot of fines. And after some point, if you get too many fines or you break some big rule like double speeding in some region, for example, if the speed limit is 30 and you're going on 60, then that's a big rule that you're breaking. So you can get points, and over time your driving license can also be revoked for 1 month or 1 year, depends on how big of a traffic crime you committed. If you come to Germany, just follow all traffic rules. Especially as soon as the sun comes out, people get really active. They do lots of stuff. One reason of people being active is also the good work culture. The work-life balance is very good. Even if you do a full-time job, you still have time to pursue what you like to do. You can go whenever you want, you can come whenever you want in companies generally. So you can take holidays whenever you want. You don't have to ask your boss every time that you need a holiday. Like when I need a holiday, we have a portal in the company. I just enter when the holiday is, and that's all. Like I never told my boss when I want to go on a holiday, or he never approved. Like it's taken, or it's taken for granted, or it's considered that you have spoken to your colleagues and you know what project deadlines or important things are coming, and you have adjusted all of that. This is how Urlaub or vacation is taken. So talking to your colleague and dividing the work is more important than talking to your boss and getting approval for the holiday. Also, normally there are very few people on the street. You see this, there's no, it's 5 p.m. in the evening. We are walking, we are going to the supermarket, and there's literally nobody on the streets. You hardly see people here. Most of them are in the city center or tourist places. You'll see a lot, but generally it's this quiet and streets are empty. So in India we feel that, oh, the street is empty, maybe it's not safe to go there, but it's not like that. Even if you come at night, 10 p.m., 12 p.m., it will be like this here, and it's because the population is low and it is like that. So it takes time to adjust to this. I used to be really skeptical because the streets are so empty, like nothing moving here. And Sundays are even worse because Sundays you can't, like everything is closed. All supermarkets, all shops are closed. You cannot go out, and in that you see such street, you get even more depressed if it gets dark early, for example. So it takes time to adjust to empty streets and empty places here. Also, if you happen to meet someone on these empty streets, then you have to say hi. Mostly people will smile at you, or they will say hi, they will say servus, they will say hello. You just have to smile and say hello, and it's not like they are trying to do any advances towards you. It's just the way it is here. You have to say hi to strangers when you come face to face on street, especially during hiking. It's a good gesture to do that. Next point is European summer. It's famous for a reason, so it's no joke, because Europe in summer looks so beautiful, and it's a very rare chance of just 2 months, like June and July or May are the months where it is really warm. Like I cannot wear such less clothes in normal weather because it's so cold. You have to wear really heavy jackets, and this is a very light jacket that I'm wearing today. Summers here are very beautiful. I was very shocked with that because in India, like, the summers are so warm and it's so humid, you're always sweating, but here it's little less. People go to rivers and lakes and swim there very openly. Like there's no taboo here. There's lots and lots of freedom. You can just go and swim, and no moral police here to correct you or say anything to you about your dressing or whatever. You can just look for water body where swimming is allowed. You can go to any lakes, rivers, and just swim. One more thing about living in Germany is that people here are super disciplined. So if there is something going on in a festival or someone is distributing something, normally in India people would just form a crowd, push each other and try to get it, because there are so many people who are trying to get something, maybe in crowded places. But here it's not like that. Let's consider you are in a music festival and they are distributing your food, for example, or some freebie there, and you want to take it. So in Germany it would be like, even if there are 4 people there to take that, they will form a line to take that. They will not just jump on that person distributing, or they will not form a crowd or chaos there. They will very quietly form a line without talking to each other and take when their turn comes. One shocking thing about supermarkets or shops in general in Germany is that they close really early. So I live in the state of Bavaria, and here the shops close at 8 p.m. Now the time is almost 7:45. Almost all the shops would be starting to close. So if you go to a coffee shop now, chances are that the person there on the counter will tell you that we have already washed our machine and it's time to close and you're not getting any coffee. If you want bread or sandwich, you can take that, any ready-made item, but coffee machine is washed and you're not getting it. So one thing about supermarkets is that you, like, most of the things you want are there. So even if you want one small bag of cotton or milk, you just have to go to the supermarket, to the big supermarket, and get those things there, and get it before 8 p.m. because they close really early. Next thing is German address. The length of German addresses is extremely short, shockingly, astonishingly short. Let's consider two images. This one is Indian address and this is a German address. So Indian addresses tend to be really long, they need to have landmarks and many other things, but in Germany the address is just two important things: the name of the street and the number of the street. That's all. And more than that, you need to know maybe the name of the city and the pin code. That's all. So if you have four different words, your address is ready. But in India, that's where the address starts. So name of the society, opposite what, landmark, and near this post office, and it doesn't end. India has such complex addresses that there is a startup which is working on solving the complex address problem of India. So this was really shocking for me that the address is just two important things: street name and street number. One more thing in German supermarkets is that you find almost everything canned. You name that fruit, vegetable, fish, or whatever, you find it in canned form. So that thing is a lot here. Like, I didn't see that many canned stuff in India. We generally buy fresh vegetables from the vegetable seller and we cook that at home right from the start. Like, here it's not like that. I've never seen peas in a pod here. So the peas are generally without pods and they are either frozen or they are in canned form. So you never really know. Like, if some person from Germany goes to India and sees peas in a pod, I think they are going to be shocked to see the original form of the vegetable. So that's one thing here. Like, everything, any fruit you name is canned, fish is canned, chicken, I don't know, maybe the sausages, they are canned, and different kinds of cheeses, anything that you get fresh is canned here. So that was one major shock for me, because I think the weather is cold and that's why these kind of things don't grow here and they have to get it from outside. So getting it in the can form, they stay longer and you're able to use it for a long time in your cooking also. Next cultural difference is about garbage separation. So in India, we have two types of garbage generally: dry waste and wet waste, and we have to put our garbage in either of them. Sometimes there's just one dustbin, but in a normal German household, you'll find generally 3 to 4 dustbins for different kinds of waste. So normally under your sink, you'll find two bags. One is for general recyclable waste, which is the yellow one, and another one is bio waste. So all your kitchen waste like fruit peels, vegetables peels, eggshells, etc., all the bio waste goes in one side. Then the third type is paper waste. So all your paper related waste goes in this dustbin, and the last one is a black bin. So whatever doesn't go in these three types of garbages goes generally in the black bin. And one more type is that your bulbs or batteries, used batteries, cannot be thrown in any of these four types. For that, you have to go to the supermarket. I've also explained this in my supermarket video, and dispose it off there. So this is how garbage is separated. Even glass has its own separate container and you cannot put it in any of these bins. Let me show you. So today is the garbage removal day. That means you have to take out all your garbage on specified dates. In India, the garbage collector comes every day and takes your garbage away, but here it's not like that. For different types of waste, there are different days, and on that days you have to take out the garbage. If you live in an apartment, then you can dump it in the common dustbin any day and any time you want. But if you live in a separate house like us, then you have to take that our garbage only on specific days, once in 2 weeks. Otherwise your garbage stays there for the next 2 weeks. So today is our garbage day for paper and for bio green bin. So I have to take these two out. That's it. So this you have to do once in 2 weeks, and you cannot miss the day, because if you miss it, your garbage just stays there, and if it's lots of bio waste, it will stink. So you have to keep an eye on these things, and don't put plastic waste into paper or something totally different, because if some neighbor sees, they can complain you. So this was one more very big cultural difference for me. And with that, we wrap today's video. Let me know how you like it if you enjoy these kind of videos. Comment if you want to know any other video, and subscribe to my channel here as well as on Instagram. See you in my next video. Bye bye.